Hello and welcome to No Man's Sky, everybody. ElanPaul here, and we're doing a kind of a No Man's Sky 101 video on a couple items that were brought up by one of my viewers, the viewer being Sonalita, who brought up the conversation of ancient ruins as well as derelict freighters, that is, freighters, crashed freighters, I should say, on planets. And it's something that a lot of us that play No Man's Sky on a regular basis take for granted. Something that we learn as we go, and we do it second nature now without even thinking about it. And it's in regards to the buried treasures as well as the cargo containers that can be found at the wrecked freighters, the treasures over at the ancient ruins as well as the cargo containers at the wrecked freighters. So it's something that we all learn where these items are located, how to dig them up, things like that. And some of you newer players out there are like befuddled at the fact that I'm sitting there pulling things out of the ground because I know exactly where they are and I know what to do, but we don't describe it because it's something, again, that we just take for granted. So let me show you a little something. So we're at an ancient ruin right now. You're probably familiar with. You've seen some of these on the ground at different places, and you wonder to yourself, get the little push the ball out of the way. It's funny. And you're wondering what you can do about these things. First things first, you can always learn new words. So always grab words at the knowledge stone. You may have been doing this for years, and I'm telling you, get the knowledge stones, get the words, because every single word you learn is another word you learn from that language that makes sense when you talk to those individuals later on. So if you're doing some sort of a quest or something like that for one of the NPCs, the whole dialogue will suddenly become translated for you, and you'll understand exactly every word they're saying. You may miss out on a word or two here and there, but rather than having everything be gibberish except for the word traveler, well, that doesn't really help you a lot, does it? So yeah, hit up those. That's going to be a piece of advice I'll throw at anybody. So anyway, so you're going to come to a spot right here. For instance, this is a Korvax plaque, and we can get this at another plaque that's standing in the ground or something like that, or a monolith. But we've chosen this one, and it's telling me that the strange stone marker imparts the wisdom of the Korvax echoes to those who desire it. I'll continue. I do not know what dialect it speaks, yet somehow I understand the story of those who once worshipped here. It's a good idea to read these thoroughly. Hello Games put a lot of thought into these, each one of these storylines, and you learn a little bit more about the Korvax people, the Gek people, the Vy'keen, and it tells you something about their history and how they developed as a race within this, if you will, program. So, not to give out too much, there's going to definitely be some spoilers and stuff like that, but this will hopefully teach you a little bit something about the game and the backstory behind everything. A lot of thought, like I said, was put into the whole backstory of every species on the planet, including the Sentinels. So, read up on everything, guys. It's very important. Anyway, so we continue. And you'll see that the pillars are telling me the Korvax echoes tell of a time long ago when the monoliths of the Atlas woke the civilizations of the outer edge. Their presence filled them with a desire for knowledge. From these beginnings, empires were born, spoke out, and fell silent once more. An eternity that cannot be quantified passed. So, the empires were born, developed, fell silent. Born, developed, silent, and it's been going on for an eternity. That's part of the storyline that you're part of in the game, so keep that in mind. So what we can do is we can seek help with language, and it'll teach us a new word. But if we do seek knowledge of the past, and we choose number 2, you're familiar with this, it does this pullback. And then it tells you that historical data has been revealed, and it talks about a buried treasure that you can go dig up. So we're going to head over there, and I'm going to show you exactly what we need to do. Now, this one is 23 minutes away on foot. We're obviously not going to go like that. We're going to go ahead and take my Corvette. And I switch back and forth between the Corvette and my regular ships just because. And for this purpose, I'm going to be doing my Corvette. Alrighty. And you notice that I'm not chopping up the video. I'm literally going to be showing you exactly what's involved in doing all this. So this ancient ruin is about 20 seconds away. Not bad. This ship that I have here, I developed as being as close to the ground as possible. So when it does land, it lands flat. It's not boosted up in the air by any landing gear like that. So it's a special design that I developed. It's very, very handy for when I'm doing things. Okay, so we have below us an ancient ruin, and I'm sure you've seen these in your travels. There's a couple things you need to note about these. First of all, as we head down there, I'm going to take the fast exit. The fun exit, I should say. This isn't just fast, it's fun. So you'll notice the temperature says negative 66 degrees, right? What happened to the temperature, guys? Right, you're starting to see something, aren't you? Let's go outside this realm. Watch. Negative 66. Okay, it's cold out, right? It's pretty cold out there right now. Extreme weather, see, it talks about this, and I guarantee you my health is dropping right now. For some reason it's not showing it, but if I go in here, it's negative 67, negative 68, look at that, and watch what happens. It disappears suddenly. Why? This whole area is a protected area from the weather and the elements. So if a storm occurs right now, you're protected from this in this general area. Very interesting, and it's part of the storyline of the game, that these areas, these ancient ruins, will protect you, but only these ruins, not the plaques, not the monoliths, just these. So that's story number one. Now, if you look through your visor, you're going to see several things. First of all, there's a gravitino ball up there. Don't touch it unless you want to aggravate the sentinels on this planet, get to a nice fight. But you'll also notice it looks like there are knowledge stones, but these aren't. It says ancient fragment. Pardon me, artifact fragment, all right? There's another one over here, right? Artifact fragment there. As we look around, there's another one over here. We got another gravitino ball. Don't touch it. Another artifact fragment. There's another one. Another one. We got another gravitino ball down there as well. See what I mean? So we got all these artifact fragments all over the place. And then if you look down here, it looks like we have a large artifact crate. Okay, and that's really what you're after here at these things, especially if you're new to the game and it's early. You see the artifact crate is just below this archway here. Okay, so this archway that sticks up, you see it's in relation to those two. There's two above ground markers, those two, and then the third one is this. So what you do is you get out the old terrain manipulator. I'm going to go to the widest setting so I can clear it out. Looks like we have a walkway here, but if we proceed out, the walkway disappears. But our crate is down here, so we're going to dig a little further. And sure enough, there's our crate, right? But in order to get in this crate, it requires 3 ancient keys. An ancient key, ancient key, ancient key. I actually don't have any ancient keys. That shouldn't have happened because I was stupid. And I have my difficulty set to creative. I shouldn't have done that. Let me go back to normal. There we go. That's my bad, yep. And I'm going to show you mistakes too because I'm not afraid of that. So if I try to unlock this, see? It won't work. So if you're in normal mode, you won't be able to unlock this yet. Creative, yeah, you can do it all to your heart's content. Alright, so what do we need to do? Well, guess what? It's these artifact fragments that you need. Each of them contains a key. You only need 3 though. And the 3 easiest ones to get, there's one that's always in here. And that's what they look like. Okay, just a little case. Open it. And you get an ancient key. All right. The second easiest one, if you follow this this area down here, let me get up there. Why am I having such trouble with this? There we go. Don't touch the gravitino ball. And you follow it down. You see it breaks up and it goes to the right. Follow it down to the right and get another ancient fragment, artifact fragment. So that's the second easiest one. Now you could go for the ones that are on the ground over here or over there, but you know that path you just looked at for this crate over here? Well, follow the path down. This other roadway down, and the third one is right here. And that's where you can grab your third key. Now, I only need 2 right now, so I'm just going to keep the 2 that I've got. And to show you what they look like, that's what they look like. Okay, ancient keys. No reason to hang on to them. You can dig them all up later if you want. If you want to get all of them from one site, you can. But that's up to you. And the whole reason for doing so is for this. See, I got some Viking trophies. Now, in this case, 173,000 units is what this one piece is worth. But occasionally you can run across an item that's worth a lot more. For instance, like this, the Viking Reports, which is worth 1.8 million units. Early game, when you have very little units to come by, that's worth a lot. And it could be very handy in digging those up. Plus, the whole time you're here, you're protected from the storms. So even if you're on a starter planet, if you run across one of these, hang on to it, man. It's an awesome thing to get. All right, time for us to leave this area. We're going to move on to the crashed freighters. These are not derelict freighters like in space. This is a crashed freighter on the planet. I'm sure you've run across these before. So I'm going to jump in here and go back to the cockpit here. And before I started filming this, I went ahead and found myself not a distress beacon, hold on. There it is. Crashed freighter. Okay, we'll check out the distress beacon later because I am curious to what kind of ship it is. So this one's pretty close as well. It's only about 30 seconds away. Crashed freighters are very early game, especially when you're new to the game and you're running around a planet. If you run across one of these, they can have items in it that are very, very handy. And it's a mixture of items. You could be getting anything from broken technology to items that you would normally take forever to create, to items you can't create and are just worth a lot of money, things like that. And it's early game, quick items to sell and make you a lot of money. But at the same time, if you happen to have a ship, you get a landing pad here. It shows up right there for a little ship, but I've got a big one, so I'm going to just hover. There we go. It looks like a good spot to hover at. And we're going to just use the beam down technology today, if it lets me. Nope. So we'll open up the back hatch and jump out. Down we go. Doesn't look like it's blocked to me. I don't know about you guys. We got plenty of room around this thing. Now feel free to go to the distress beacon that's over here and find out some of the storyline behind it. Mayday event, distress signal broadcast. So this happened who knows how many millennia ago, or even a couple days ago. But it gives you a timestamp, and you can track these if you want. Some of the more geeky people out there will track the date stamps to see when it actually did happen in relation to your timeline. So I'm not as interested in that, but feel free to do so. So it says here, I've heard the rumors, so-called traveler anomalies, beings of varied appearance and purpose, their ship approached, our weapons primed. They, it always gives a buzzing noise. This one of, I can't even read that. This one, us begged for peace. Not sure if that's even real English. Not that the English language is great. They appeared to be biomechanical, at least in part. We struck them from the sky. Date stamp 1640. A little later. Probes recovered the body, well, fragments of DNA and code. The two were almost interchangeable, my researchers tell me. I must confess to a great deal of excitement, but this... Psst. 1593. We must understand what is happening to our worlds. Visuals confirm it. The same entity we shot down 2 weeks ago is standing right before us again. Interesting, isn't it? These beings are restored upon death, just as the Emperor suggested. Well, then, an opportunity to retrieve more samples. I ordered their death once more. And yet, here's the broken freighter down below, so that tells you what must have happened on the second round. Alright, so why am we here? Storyline is great, but these things contain some stuff. These freighters contain things. So I'm going to take a look through our scanner again. You notice that we have a cargo pod over here. And every one of these freighters has one here, one inside that room, one down below in the center section here, one in that room, one down below over here, and then one in the distance just beyond the freighter itself. That got thrown aside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. My suggestion would be to dig each one of these up. And you have to escape their influence. My cold protection is almost out. The first one is always on an angle from right here in this corner on the metal plate that you're standing on. So if you aim in this general direction, you'll uncover it. And you don't have to be standing literally right in front of it. You can be just within range of it. As long as you can get within that far of it, you can go ahead and open it. It requires that you get rid of the living slime and goop that are on it. This can interchange with different items as well, but if you want to keep it, turn it into nanites, up to you. I think it's a colossal waste of time myself, but I'm going to go ahead and delete them. Now, here's the problem. When you open up these containers, they release radiation. I will stay put so you can see what happens. See? And if you don't have radiation protection, your radiation protection starts plummeting very, very fast. But if you get out of range, you're done. And I'll demonstrate that getting out of range thing in just a moment. So what did we get? We got a frigate Yeah, it went into my main inventory on my freighter, I'm sure. Who knows where it is? When you've been playing this game as long as I have, it could have gone anywhere. But it is most likely one of these. A salvage frigate module is what we ended up getting. So this helps you to build out your freighter. It's a frigate module and helps you to build it out more. So as you can see, current form, research station aboard your freighter may be able to convert this into usable technology. So you can use it to upgrade your freighter. That's one of the items you can get here on occasion. That's actually kind of a rare item, and I'm kind of surprised by that. All right, let's go to the second one over here that's inside this room. Yeah, we can't really just get in there. We can use either a gun or a mining laser to get in there. If you're early game and you don't have if you don't have a weapon, that's okay. There we go, mining laser, and you can just blast it open. There's usually a door here, and one door over there for an exit. I always open up the second one because I like to use it to get to the other areas over there real quick. I'll show you why, and this is the reason why. So we go across this. We're going to delete the items that are blocking the cargo container and immediately walk out. You'll notice that as long as I go far enough away, and we could drop down here. Yeah, see? You have to be just out of range of that doorway in order for the radiation to not affect you. And you notice I got an unstable gel out of it. So the unstable gel, probably one in my other inventory, nope, it's here, is worth 50,000 units. You can make these. You see, you need 200 cactus flesh to craft unstable gel and other items as well. But while you can craft this early game, you can't. And it is worth something, so you can either sell it or hang on to it for other recipes later on. Completely up to you. But early game, 50,000. You can hold 10 of these in your inventory in normal mode. That's worth 500,000 units just in one slot. A little bit more than that, isn't it? All right. So the next one we're going to go to, also an indoor model. And you notice that every time we're in these rooms, we are protected from the elements. Here we go. So we do the same thing here. We're going to exit immediately. We're going to delete these two things. It's always the same two for each freighter. And we get another salvage frigate module. Didn't I just say that those things are rare? Yeah. Don't know why I keep getting them, but there you are. Alright, so we have two that are outdoor. We have one down here. You notice my cold protection is dropping like a rock. I have to look into this because I thought this was an S-class, but I'm getting to think it's not. Anyway, we got one right over here, and we have one right over here. I'm going to take this one first. A couple different ways to get to it. My favorite way to get to it is simply by breaking this here on the top, which is my mining laser. And you don't have to dig down. If you want to dig down, it's up to you. But normally, if you just get into the hole, you have access to it immediately. Especially if you're in this mode here. So I'm going to just open it. Same thing. And as soon as it goes, get out of there as quickly as you can. Run for the hills. And you have to get just far enough away. So I got a relay joint. So what that is that's a piece for a Corvette. You can get Corvette pieces here too. So you notice that the radiation has faded. So after a couple moments, it goes away on its own. All right, so that part's done. Let me go over here. So here's our next one. It's down here, and I'm going to go ahead and mark it this time so you can see it. So it's over here, and let's go ahead and dig down to it and see what we find, right? Uh-oh. Well, it's protected. It's underneath the whole hull here. Well, that's a problem, isn't it? Well, not really. Because you do have this plate here you can break through. Just get out your old mining laser. There you go. Same process. You can dig down if you wish, but all you have to do is just stand here and you have access to it. Deleting those two. Get out of the town. Fusion cores times 5, it looks like. Now, that's not something I'm familiar with. I don't think you can even make these. See all 5 of them? 50,000 apiece. I just made another 250,000 units. 300,000 all total. And with the 2 freighter upgrade pieces I got, we're talking a cool million. Easy. Alright, let's go back up here. And remember, there was one more crate all the way over here, another cargo pod. And it's always outside of the ship. You notice if you stand in the middle of this plate, it is just off center and to the right just a little bit in this direction. Go ahead and pull out your terrain manipulator. Dig a hole going down on an angle. And there you are. What I like to do is I like to just make a little bit of an exit area. Get just within range to be able to access it. There we go. That way I can escape a little bit quicker from the radiation. Alright, run. Another salvage frigate module. This is my day, I tell you what. All right, and that's what you get out of this. So again, those salvage frigate modules, let's go back to the freighter. Let's go back to the freighter, there we go. If I take 3 of these, okay, those 3 that we just picked up, 285,000 units. So I made over a cool million in just coming into this freighter area, this crash freighter. Million units of credits, and that can vary. Sometimes it'll just give you credit, sometimes it'll just give you nanites, but whatever it gives you, it's definitely worth it in the early game. So I do recommend doing so. Plus with the landing pad here, if you happen to have a ship already, and again it's early game, saves you a little bit of launch juice when you get there. Also good for early game. All right, so folks, that's pretty much it for us. That should teach you a little bit more about some of the basics of the game and some of the things that you can find early game in order to make No Man's Sky just a little bit easier to play. So my name again is ElanPaul, and this is my channel. Please feel free to hit the like, hit the subscribe button. If you have enjoyed this and you want to see more, by all means drop a comment down there. And if you have questions, I do a lot of things by request. Like I said, one of my viewers made the suggestion of doing this video, and that's the reason why this video exists to begin with. So it's because somebody requested that I do something about that, and here we are. This is why we do it. So guys, thank you again very much for watching this video. Hit that like button down below. It really does help the metrics of the channel, helps the algorithm, if you will, whatever that mighty algorithm is for YouTube, and I appreciate you being here. Hit the subscribe button if you like what you've been seeing. Got plenty of one-on-one videos and about 800 more other videos on my channel here in the last 3 years that should help you out in playing No Man's Sky. But again, ask questions, we're glad to help. Folks, I hope you have a wonderful day, and again, thank you for watching. Take care.